Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And today we're going to talk about Tesla's possibly new endeavor when it comes to TeraFab. But first, Casey's going to roll that title card for us.
Terra.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We've got an interesting topic that Patrick has supplied us from his blog, which of course is carswithcords.net. If you haven't visited, please do. But Patrick's got a little story about Tesla's future and how it comes to chipsets and what's going to happen with Tesla. Take it away, Patrick.
Yeah, so as you all know, if you're a Tesla lifer, Musk has big plans for an autonomous future, including self-driving vehicles and autonomous robots, and they are going to need chips to drive that stuff. And right now, they design their own chips in-house.
Barbecue or sour cream?
Cool Ranch.
Okay, all right.
Yes, silicon chips. So they design them themselves, but they have them fabbed at external IDMs, or so fabs like TSMC and Samsung make their chips for them, AI5, AI6, and those guys make chips for a lot of different companies. And Tesla's saying that they can't get the allocation they need because other companies like NVIDIA have more allocation than Tesla does because they're bigger customers and have a longer history of working with these fab companies. So if you are constrained, what do you do? Well, you build your own fab. And we've seen Tesla do this. They love to vertically integrate. And if something is the limiting factor, that's what you need to focus your efforts on fixing, because that's what gets you to higher volumes. Whatever your theory of constraint analysis says, this is what will slow us down, then there's where you try to fix it. But this isn't the same as some of the other things that they've done in the past. So when they decided that we want to build batteries, and they partner with Panasonic, and they that's kind of tens or hundreds of millions of dollars effort. A fab is billions of dollars, tens of billions. And then not only that, you have ongoing expenses because every 2 to 3 years, there's a new process node, and that requires new lithography equipment and other things. It's massive. And so do you want to have all of that expense just to get chips that you can already order from companies that are staying on the cutting edge, because that's their whole business? So if you go back and look at the 2000s, there were 22 companies or so that had their own fabs. And there was this whole expression, real men have fabs. And that has changed. Now there are really only 3 major fabs, Intel, TSMC, and Samsung. I mean, Global Foundries, there's some other smaller ones, but the other smaller ones tend to just do older processes, so they're not doing cutting-edge chips. Why? Because staying on the cutting edge is very expensive, and if you have a chip that doesn't need the cutting edge, then you can make and sell those profitably as they are. That's fine. And maybe you can upgrade to some newer stuff when the existing fabs deprecate and sell off their old stuff. Maybe you can buy it on the cheap and then you move ahead one, but you're still nowhere near cutting edge. So the number of companies that are willing to put all that effort in there is going down. So it's really interesting to hear Tesla saying we're going to step into that and make our own. So I started wondering, will they really do that? And they might, but there's another possibility. And we've seen this with, say, like Tesla Insurance. They're definitely in the insurance business, but it's not a big part of their revenue. But it has an outsized effort in that, or impact, I should say, in that in the areas where Tesla has their stuff, the other businesses need to compete with that. So that kind of keeps that market in check. And so they might be doing something similar here with this fab discussion or talk. That might be what they need to get higher allocation for AI5 and AI6 and later.
just like a competition play. Hey, we're going to
Exactly.
do this
Right.
unless you give us what we need, then we won't go after it.
Right.
Because that brings up another point right there. Is this not just how much it is, but there are only two companies that make the equipment that makes the equipment. So unless they plan to do that, they have to go back to where they were before Model S, where they're ordering stuff and people are like, let us go with our guaranteed cash, and then we'll get around to you if we think you're still serious.
Right. Yeah, they'll need ASML equipment and other companies, and those are. I'm sure that if you pay enough, they'll make one for you.
Yeah, but you'll have to jump in line behind Intel and everybody else.
Right. Yep.
It does sound, Patrick, that like the allocation of funds to become your own fabrication plant is going to be, as you said, billions.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla just doesn't have the volume to support billions. So one, they either create their own fab and they also sell chips to others.
Yeah,
so they
say,
produce it for themselves,
yeah.
And with the excess capacity and time, they can sell to others and become a competitor to the other two major ones. Or two, they're just kind of shaking the cage of the existing ones and say, hey, listen, we're going to build our own if you don't bump up our allocation or make us more of a happy customer than what we have been. That's about the only two things I could see, because man, and I could see that these other fabricators probably look at the same economics and say, listen, Tesla is not going to design their own. Yeah, Musk is crazy in some ways, but we're talking, billions of dollars that they are going to have to keep up and change the equipment every couple of years. They're going to get tired of that real quick. So it might be a false flag saying we're going to move if you don't change us. But I guess it could be that they become their own competitor and they start selling their excess capacity to others and build another business out of it. But man, that's a bit of a risk when it comes to how much money you've said has to be allocated to keep up on this.
Yeah, he could probably do it out of pocket too, as long as he does it in a certain way that's not very Twitter-esque. But as far as with the excess capacity, because like you said, a Terafactory, unless they're putting chips in every component, like you said, they don't have enough, and they won't for a while have enough demand for their own chips to fill that factory. So unless they were to sell what they're using externally, so like literally FSD for everybody, that would be the lowest cost to using that extra capacity, because if you're selling it to Ford and GM and everybody, then you're just giving them the same thing that you're already doing, you just run more copies. The other option is they become a contract manufacturer themselves. Like, hey, this is a technology we have available. Give us your designs, and we'll slot you in when we're not making our own. And like kind of like an AWS or just an entry level version of what's already out there for contract chip fabs. And that could do it, but I don't know. I don't know how that business fits in with what they're already doing.
Yeah.
The fab itself does, and selling their stuff to other people makes sense. But becoming a contract fab is unless they're going to use it to fill out, like sell the excess to XAI and like just make GPUs. Because he's saying that at the shareholder meeting that their AI 6 chips or 7 or whatever is going to be the use for this isn't going to be all that complicated compared to what's out there, because they don't need a bunch of some of the other real estate on the chip. They can use that for more of what they do use.
Right. So here's an idea. We don't know how this is going to play out. Mark, you summarized two possible futures there. Here's a third one. Now, when they built Giga Nevada, they partnered with Panasonic. They put in a lot of space for Panasonic to operate. In fact, they had it partitioned off where only certain Tesla employees had access, because there was a lot of proprietary Panasonic information in there that they didn't want everybody in Tesla to be exposed to. So if they partnered with somebody in the shareholder meeting, Musk mentioned Intel. And we already know they have partnerships with TSMC and Samsung. if they wanted to do a joint fab with one of these companies that already does their own stuff, and Tesla pays for the equipment, the other company that already has the expertise comes in, operates it. The allocation is Tesla's first choice because they're the ones that paid for the equipment and the land. And then any space that Tesla does not use, the other company could fill with their existing customer, their existing product lines that need more capacity. So this would be an interesting way for them to get the allocation that they want, to pay for it, to not have to be in the business of really running it. And that is how they did it with Panasonic. So they have the roadmap there for that. And that would be one way this could play out.
And the ones that you mentioned that have just kind of soft exited because they can't afford to keep up, this could be a way for them to have the latest equipment and keep up with. They already have a customer base that trusts them, and so hey, you wanted a Gen 6, we got it. We got Gen 6 now, or whatever, probably with Gen 18 now. But either way,
right? Yeah, something 2 nanometer or 1.6 or 1.4 or whatever the latest process node will be in 2027.
Right, and somebody else has already bought the equipment, so they're just Ubering in on the Tesla lithography equipment. So that'd be another interesting way to do it.
Yeah, that's so 3 possibilities. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious how this is going to play out, because that statement was, I mean, there was a lot of really cool things said in the shareholder meeting, but that was the one that was like, that would be a big deal. I'm not sure it's going to happen. And now I'm thinking there might be a middle road that where it can happen.
Yeah, this could go so many different ways, because like when you look at, they wanted to get in on battery manufacturing, and they tried it 3 different ways, really. They partnered with Panasonic. They tried it themselves at Giga Austin, and they went ahead and they bought all of Cattel's LFP equipment before the political shakeup, after they knew which way it was going to head. So they can do LFP on their own, and they got the training and everything, so they didn't have to make a mistake with dry cathode or hubris or whatever he said was why they couldn't work dry cathode, and there it is with LFP, ready to go.
Yeah. Interesting. If you were a betting man, Patrick, out of the 3, what would you put your money on?
The partnership. I think doing it exclusively themselves is way too expensive. So the partnership is where I'd put my money.
Okay. Yeah, after hearing the third possibility, I think that's the right road for them, based on their situation and the volume that they're going to have. And as Musk had said, their real problem is allocation. They want to be higher up on the food chain to get those chips first, so that they could supply what they need to supply. And obviously, they've had some pain when it came to that, and that's something that they're trying to alleviate as time goes along.
Yeah, the Sparks style partnership seems to make the most sense, because then they anything they don't use won't get squandered, and they can guarantee that they get first dibs, and they can make sure that nobody's going to leak their secrets. Not that very many of these facilities have problems with people leaking secrets, not for this anyway, but that just gives them that extra insurance and comfort that they want, and then anything that they can get through their company or their sister companies for resource allocation, because you need a lot of water, you need a lot of energy, you need stability, geographically stable. You don't want a little earth tremor that happens once a year to happen while you're making $8 million of chips.
Yes, they don't handle that well. Yes, I mean the modern lithography stuff, they're getting down to where the wavelength of the light matters, and so they have to use UV because if the wave comes in like this and it hits here instead of here, that'll make the chip not work. So now they have to use UV instead. It's crazy how advanced this is getting. So yeah, a little earthquake might ruin a few wafers that day.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, let's turn it to our audience. What do you think Tesla's going to do here? Is it something that they're going to go in a partnership with? Are they going to do it on their own, or something else? Let us know in the comments as to what you think and why you think that. Also, please visit Patrick's blog that he writes in often, not just this story, but many others. Again, that link is carswithcords.net. It'll be in the notes as well. But we appreciate Patrick sharing that story, that late breaking story with us, and we look forward to many more in the future. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up on the video, press that subscribe, helps us out immensely. We would appreciate it. And with that said, Casey, what do you got for shoutouts?
We'll see you on Wednesday. And this is why you have the bell turned on, because if you're
This was
watching
a
this
surprise
Extra
posting, wasn't
episode.
it? Yeah, right. Exactly.
on the live on the live chat, you knew. If you're not, you lucked into it, or you're watching the replay. And well, next time you'll have the bell on, I bet.
Patrick, any shoutouts?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. Thanks a lot, and check it out.
Very good. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Marco wants to say goodbye. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
So cute.